It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
What's up, Adam? Thomas, Austin, Texas. Third-hand smoke, what a joke. What about all these scented candles and potpourri and that crap people spray in the air just to make it smell better because your house smells like dog or something like that? I swear to God, I gag every time my wife sprays that crap. Why aren't they attacking that stuff if they're attacking third-hand smoke? It's all a bunch of bullshit to me. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
It is true. I got candles that have like the triple wick on them, and they'll, let them burn for a while, and then you blow them out, and they just sit and smoke in your living room for the next 40 minutes. No warnings about that, though.
I hear that the new thing is you just put them under like a special heat lamp because you're not supposed to light them because it's bad for you or something.
Oh, my God. Oh, you're going to get wax lung.
Yeah, you get wax lung.
All right. Well, better than whale oil lung, which my grandparents had. All right, what do we got in the news here?
So baseball players are unhappy right now. They've rolled out new uniforms. So Nike has the contract, but they put it out to this company called Fanatics, which does a lot of like the uniforms that you buy like at the store. And so they're saying that these new uniforms are supposed to be more stretchy, they dry faster, but these guys are like they're uncomfortable. You can't customize them, and the pants are see-through. Yeah, so we have pictures and videos of them. We'll put up so you can see what they look like. But so they're just very insecure about having their pants see through. It looks like they're wearing diapers. They say because you can see the jersey just hanging down from the. And their names are smaller too.
Oh, their names are smaller.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who cares what baseball players are thinking? I mean, it's kind of the way football uniforms have gone into this sort of like sock thing instead of everything was baggy. Now it's getting tighter, and your uniform shouldn't be customizable. It's called a uniform. Fucking wear it. You're
I mean, like the pants, like the length.
That's what I've said a million years. It's one length, and that's it. It's a goddamn uniform. I don't even like it when I see the UPS guy with like brown sweatbands on his wrists every once in a while, and like the sleeves are rolled up. I go, don't leave it alone. It's a uniform. It's fine.
You have a lot of very strong opinions.
I have very strong opinions. Look up the definition of uniform. It's uniform. It's not your take on a uniform. It's a uniform.
I'm not a sports guy, but those pants seem very strange to me.
They look weird because
they don't like them.
They're sheer.
They're sheer,
and I get it. I don't like the sheer part.
Well, Brian is uniquely qualified to be talking about this because he's worked in wardrobe before.
That's right. That's a old pull you got there.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
He worked the wardrobe in Castaway.
That's right.
Oh wow!
That's right.
Which Adam has thoughts about best costume
design.
Had
a lot of wardrobe. Everybody always makes the joke. What was it? A department of one? No, everything had to be aged like a day, a week, a month, a year.
Castaway.
Everything. Yes.
Yeah.
First paid job in Hollywood.
All right, what's going on with that Seattle? What were we talking about? The Seattle Comedy Club story?
Yeah, so there's a comedy club in Seattle that just recently sent out a letter to 4 comedians: Dave Smith, Luis J. Gomez,
Seattle.
Jim Florentine, and Kurt Metzger, all who have been on this show, and basically said, "Hey, we're canceling your shows. Your comedy doesn't align with the politics of our community."
Well, you have the letter somewhere, right?
Yeah, I do have it.
I want to out the name of the comedy club so we can throw some shame their way, God willing. Chris, are you doing dates? Are you doing stand-up?
I'm just starting to go out again. I didn't for the longest time because of pandemic. Then at the end of the pandemic, my wife was pregnant, and I was like, well, I'm not going to travel now. Mm-hmm. Then in the first year that the baby was alive, I did, in the first year of her life, I did a couple dates, and it was like, I just don't want to be away, Mm-hmm. And so now I'm just starting to do dates again. I'm doing Salt Lake City, March 21, 22, and 23, then Denver, Comedy Works the week after that. Then I've got some other dates: St. Louis, Austin, San Diego, Minneapolis. Yeah, so I am starting to do some more dates, but it feels weird. Back. It feels weird to be away. Like I don't love the being. I love the performing part, but being away from the family hurts my heart.
But Carlin.
It depends what family you're away from. Some of us enjoy it. Yes.
But that's what Carlin would say. Carlin said you don't get paid for the show, you get paid for the airport.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, it is. It's all the stuff that's
Yoko Ono
around.
said that.
It's all the stuff that's around that.
Yeah. So these guys, I know all these guys.
Yeah, you do.
They have controversial opinions.
Jim Florentine?
Well, no, I think what it is they're right.
reaction.
They're Republican.
Jim Florentine appears on Gutfeld.
That's what it is. Yeah, they don't want Republican
So-
guys showing up in Seattle.
So this is the Capitol Hill Comedy Bar, which Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, Chaz, you probably remember from the news a few years ago.
Wait, I think that was it
Chaz
Chop
did.
or Chaz?
Well, it's Chop, Chaz, Chad. Like they had all these different versions.
That worked out. Nice.
So this is the letter that was sent to the comedians. After careful consideration,
So these comedians had dates booked at this club.
right.
Okay.
So after careful consideration and discussions with our team, investors, local comedians, and neighborhood advocacy
Local
groups.
comedians. What are you talking to open micers? If we should let a feature come into our town and do 4 shows, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, whatever. They discussed it with the community.
Right.
Fuck the community.
So after
But those are all people who get no vote. Like, that's what I find. So they're talking about, like, all the people. It's like, what is the owner of the club? It's all about the owner of the club. The
It's
owner
about
of the club made that
it's about
decision.
the audience.
Yeah,
I mean, the
well,
owner
that
of
of course.
The
But
owner of the club may think Tig Notaro sucks ass, but
The
he wants to
public
sell
likes
some
her,
tickets,
yeah.
and they want to come in. And
but
a certain group wants to see Tig Notaro, and the other wants to see these guys.
But
right?
my point is, if you want to do this, fine, whatever. It's your club. It's a free country. Great. Don't blame it on the activists. Don't blame it on the employees. Don't blame it on the local comedians. Like, take the hit.
I agree.
So they said after consideration discussion with all those people, we've encountered a challenging situation that requires us to revisit the planned shows. Capitol Hill is known for its progressive values, and we've received significant feedback expressing concerns about the alignment of these upcoming shows with the neighborhood's ethos.
The neighborhood. Check the. How about the Pizza Hut? Does
They
their
ask the Pizza Hut?
ethos
That might be
align
part
with
of
the
the
neighborhood? Are they
advocacy
pepperoni oriented, or how they
By the
work
way,
over there?
that day's coming. I
Oh,
guarantee
it's
you.
coming.
No more pepperoni.
Oh, this feedback includes concerns from our local advocacy groups that are deeply embedded in our community and work towards upholding its values.
These jack-offs are the opposite of comedy and should shut their fucking club in their mouth, because they're flying in the face of what comedy and expression is supposed to be. And I always love when they go, we're big advocates of this, that, and the other, and then they start right in with the censorship. All right.
Given the feedback and to avoid any potential negative impact on both our club and the artists involved, as well as to maintain the harmony within our community, we believe the most responsible course of action is not to move forward with the shows for Dave Smith in April, Luis J. Gomez in May, Jim Florentine in September, and sadly, Kurt Metzger in October as well. This decision was not made lightly, and we want to ensure it does not reflect on our talent and the quality of your work, but
That club should be boycotted.
But
nobody
instead,
should perform at that fucking shithole.
100%.
That's the way this should
Nobody
work.
go.
Just boycott it.
Nobody play it. It's over.
Treat it like Sun City during the apartheid.
But instead, it's a reflection of our commitment to our community's values. We will also.
Well, by the way, your values are getting people drunk and charging them $22 for shitty nachos. What business do you think you're in? You think you're in the Red Cross?
But they're talking about the community. I guarantee you, if you go back to 2020, there are people that voted for Trump in that community. Like, that's what I also find funny about these things, where they talk about the community, and it's like, you're one person in a community. Maybe it's 2080, maybe it's 1090, but there are still people that would probably enjoy those shows in your community.
The other people, here's the big problem with all this. Campuses, clubs, everything. I'm fucking had an ass full of it. If Ben Shapiro gets invited to Dartmouth to speak, he is allowed to speak, and you are allowed to not attend.
Yeah.
Because I went over the roster of, I think I looked up UC Berkeley and their engagements, and they had the Indigenous Lesbians Drum Circle, and they had a whole bunch of shit I would never want to go to in a million years, but it's not for me. so you guys can have your Indigenous Peoples Lesbians Drum Circle afternoon at the auditorium. And guess who won't fucking be there? Me. But guess who would never dream in a million years to stop you from doing this? And there's tons of shit that you guys are doing that I would disagree with politically. But that's for you to do. And then every once in a while, Ben Shapiro's going to show up and he's going to go to the auditorium and you guys shut the fuck up and go do something else.
Don't go.
And don't go. That's how it is. It doesn't affect the community. It's for the group who wants to go see Ben Shapiro or who wants to go see these comedians. The community need not get involved with this. And I don't even know what they mean. They use community. They just throw community around nowadays. It doesn't mean jack shit. There is no community outside of a comedy club. There's a comedy club and there's the people who show up. That's it.
It goes on.
Oh, boy.
We truly value the art of comedy.
Oh, no, you do not.
And,
no, you do not.
And the diverse perspectives it brings to our lives.
Diverse. They like the diversity, or you just have to agree with them and their community?
This may have been written by AI. It's our hope that we can find a way to work together in the future under different circumstances. In the meantime...
Yeah, you change your politics.
Yes.
In the meantime, we are committed to making this transition as smooth as possible and are here to discuss any concerns you may have. Thank you for your understanding and your incredible contributions to the world of comedy.
Boy.
We wish you all the best in your upcoming projects and hope to have the opportunity to collaborate in the future.
Yeah, I hope they get fragged majorly by everybody. I hope this makes the rounds. They get the fucking message and they get fucking Bud lit up. That's what you got to do to them, what you did to Bud Light. And fucking, and by the way, once companies get hit and entities get hit, they immediately change their tune as soon as the finances change just a little bit. So comedians shouldn't play at this club and they should get fucking fragged. Fuck them. This is bullshit. They have no idea what they're doing.
Seattle's like one of your favorite places to go.
Yeah, well, Seattle turned into a shit show, but it was... look, Seattle's like California, one of the nicest places ever, but it got fucked up by shitty politics. And that's what happened to Seattle, what happened to Portland. These are all the best places in the world, but they can be ruined, just like L.A. and California. And, Venice Beach is cool and Santa Monica's cool, but it's getting fucked up through bad policy. And this is part of the bad policy. This isn't official governmental policy. It's the policy of the stooges who go along with the bad policy. That's how we got fucked with COVID, because we had a bunch of coward stooges here going along with shit policy and building it up. And that's what this is. They're a comedy club. What fucking business are you in? You're not a church. You're not a synagogue. You're a comedy club. This flies in the face of all things comedy and certainly stand-up. And these guys have a range. Jim Florentine does voices, has an opinion. He's a Republican. I think that's the problem. There's nothing super controversial about Jim Florentine at all, other than he shows up on Gutfeld.
Right.
So fuck these guys.
All right. So I'll be getting my tickets refunded.
Yes. Ugh. I hope there's a big fucking uprising against these assholes.
It looks like there is.
Good.
At least as
well. Also, everybody, before you fire somebody for not using someone's pronouns, or not getting vaccinated, or not towing a company line, pause for a second and realize there may be repercussions. Yeah. You're not just allowed to take Gina Carano and throw her off the Disney Channel because she said beep, bop, boop. She's going to come back at some point. She's going to sue you.
With a lawyer.
Good. And if you do it to airline pilots, they're going to do it. People, they're going, or Bud Light, or Target, your transgender, bikini line, like whatever the fuck it is, there shall be consequences. So know it. I'm surprised these dickheads don't understand that by now. But I guess they're going to keep going. So I hope it makes the rounds, and I hope they suffer.
So we were talking about Finland and how it's always on the list for the happiest country in the world.
Right.
So Business Insider decided to compile some reasons why they think that's the reason, or why they think they're ranked so high. Things that Finland do differently than America.
All right.
So one thing that they say is they let their babies sleep outside while they go inside and eat or while they go shopping. They just leave their babies outside to sleep in the stroller. They wrap them up real warm.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's good because you're being exposed to germs. Mm-hmm. And so we've seen videos of this, and we think it's shocking, but it's totally normal over there to see a baby sleeping in a stroller outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, everything we do is wrong in terms of protection of kids. All the Purell, turns out now they all have fucking asthma now. Like every protective measure we try on kids ends up having these downstream consequences that end up fucking them up down the road. So whatever thing they do, like if you go, oh, in Finland, they jump in a freezing cold lake and then they get out and they go into a sauna, and then we go, I'm not going to let my kid jump in a freezing lake. He's going to catch cold. It's like, now he's going to get a good immune system from it, but you're going to wrap your kid in bubble wrap and Purell, and then they're going to be allergic to everything. So yes, anything that they do that's old school, I agree with.
What do you think about this? The government provides all expectant mothers and adoptive parents with a thing called a baby box or a maternity box, which has like vitamins, snowsuit, onesies, bedding, toiletries, and just like, yeah, you get that when you're pregnant. Just
Yeah,
to
all
get
right.
get you prepared.
I'd get down with that.
They go to college for free.
And as long as all of them aren't going to college.
Free education through the PhD level. So
Wow.
Yeah.
But how do they get plumbers and shit over there in Finland? I mean, you're going to need some blue-collar dudes as well.
Well, they have a test. I mean, it's the same thing Korea does, where it's like you, at 18, you take a test. And, that's the part of this stuff no one talks about, where it's like, to your point, half the people are like, you're not going to college. Congratulations.
Good. But you'll get a trade and you'll make good money.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
they also drink more coffee than anyone else in the world. Roughly
really?
5 to 8 cups of coffee a day.
Wow.
Huh. All right.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, you're going to like this, Adam. It's normal to use a public sauna completely naked.
Well, I've been a little freaked out because every time I go into a spa and I go into the sauna, like at a hotel or something, there's a bunch of 23-year-old guys wearing board shorts in there. And I'm like, I thought we went nude in these places.
No,
They're
we
like,
don't.
not anymore. We don't. We're wearing slacks. Like guys wearing swim trunks to get into the jacuzzi at the spa. And I'm like, I thought this was a naked dude thing. I thought you wore a towel and then you hung your towel up and then you got into the jacuzzi, or you wore your towel into the sauna. But young dudes are modest.
Yeah.
Maybe
I've never done that, so I don't know.
maybe
You've never
they're-
done a sauna? Or
I've done sauna. I've never done naked sauna.
Yeah, I've never done
So
naked
I'm not,
sauna either.
I don't know about that. Meaning I can't comment.
I think most European nations would think we were weird for wearing shorts
But
into
they go to
a
their
sauna.
beaches naked, so they're just really comfortable.
Yeah, they're comfortable, but this country was that way. It's something changed. Dudes used to walk around naked in locker rooms, naked in saunas, naked whirlpools. Like it was naked. Maybe guys' dicks are getting smaller. Maybe it's
I think I think that came out last year.
we have lower testosterone levels. We're less sperm
I'm
count.
going to need that report to show to people.
More plastics in the environment. Maybe guys' hogs are shrinking and they don't have good sauna cocks.
It's very Adam and Eve of us. Like we ate the forbidden fruit, now we realize we're naked.
Now
and
we're
ashamed of it.
naked.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I just feel weird now that I'm naked in a jacuzzi with 3 dudes wearing shorts.
That is
now.
weird.
And you're probably thinking, am I making them uncomfortable?
Yes, I feel. I don't know. I'm old school. You don't bring swim trunks to the spa. You bring a towel, and you don't wag your dick in people's faces. Like when you go into the sauna, you have the towel around you, and like when you go into the jacuzzi, you slip into it. You slide the towel off and slide into the jacuzzi. You don't spread your ass cheeks or do anything like that. But the shorts feels weird.
And lastly, what do you think of this one?
But see, they're happy and they're
They're
nude.
happy. And
That's
also, they believe incarceration should be about rehabilitation. So they have a thing called open prisons where they live in dorms. They have their own cars. They have access to education programs.
Well, let me explain this concept. And they're correct. Because my mom would have said is this Finland?
Yes.
She would have went, in Finland, in Finland, they have, and then she would explain, like they have open injection zones for heroin addicts, and it works, and their incarceration, they have cars, and they give them the keys to the jail cells, and they all on the honor system, and I go, right, but that's Finland. See, we have animals here. We have real criminals here. You guys have Finnish criminals, and I came up with a thing, and you guys can tell me if you think this agrees. It's I call it my pumpkin shitter theorem, which is all these ideas of these European societies that are very open. It works because they're not dealing with Americans who are fucking animals, right? And I said, if you live in a society like when you're a kid on Halloween, there'd be the house where the people were gone, and they'd put the plastic pumpkin out front, and they'd put the candy bars in it, and they'd go, please limit yourself to one candy bar. And you'd come in. And if you live in a society where the first 9 kids will come up and just take one candy bar and leave, then we can try this shit. But that's not our society. Our society is the first guy shows up, dumps the pumpkin into his candy bag. The next guy shows up, sees the pumpkin is empty, and takes a shit in the pumpkin. And the third guy shows up, sees the shit in the pumpkin, and kicks it through the bay window. That's America. Now, I bet in Finland they could pull it off. But we can't pull that off here. And so we can't have inmates who have like day passes and get to drive golf carts in and out of the prison.
Sad.
Because we're fucking animals.
Right.
That's why.
All right, so let's move on to news about Kimmel. So obviously he's hosting the Oscars in March. There are reports saying that he is not interested in renewing his contract, and that he might be hanging it up soon.
But I think he has like 2.5 years left.
Right, but not renewing it after that. Like, what do you think? Do you think he hangs it up?
Yeah, I do, because he'll be 25 years in at that point, more than 25 years in. Well, let's see, 2.5 years now. What did he start? 02?
That's about
right about 25 years. So 25 years is a good run. Late night is just kind of not what it was. It used to be this real Tiffany jewel sort of thing, and now everybody's doing it, and the audience is so spread out everywhere. And I don't know where network late night is going to be 5 years from now. Like, it may not, it's not, obviously it's not the Johnny Carson days when, 1/3 of America watched Johnny Carson every night. The audience gets thinner, as it does with everything. They get spread out. There's 2 million YouTube channels and stuff. So I think the timing is about right. 25 years, good run. Solid number, got in at a good time, and doesn't have to hang out and watch it kind of late night sort of go off into the sunset.
Right.
So I think it's good.
And then also at Midnight's back.
Yeah.
Have you been watching?
Yeah, I think it's, I think the reboot is great. I really do. I don't have anything to do with the show. I just know that it's so good for comedy, that show. When we were on Now, it feels like it was forever ago. I mean, it was like over a decade ago that we started our version. And when they announced that they were doing the show, I was genuinely happy, because there are so few places. I mean, I guess people can put stuff on YouTube, people can put things on social media, but just in terms of like comedians having like a real platform to tell jokes without burning through their material, to kind of give you a sense of who they are. I really thought it was fantastic that they were doing it. It was so much fun to be a part of. I loved when I was a young comedian and I got to do a panel show, because I would see a spike in my ticket sales, so I know what it means for comedians. And I was actually when people were like, "Oh my God, are you doing the show?" And I said, "No, I mean, we did 600 episodes, and I got to be a part of this amazing experience where I didn't create the show, but I got to help develop it into what became At Midnight." Yeah. And, we basically just got to make silly jokes about the internet with people that I either knew or really looked up to. And we got a couple Emmys, and it was really awesome. I honestly don't know what else I would have done with the show needed to be refreshed, and I'm really glad they did. And I think Taylor Tomlinson is phenomenal, and I think she is doing a fantastic job. Truly,
Agreed.
I'm like.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's great. It's just. Did you ever see the old version of the show? Yeah. It's just like a great comedy panel game show, and the thing that I love about it is that the game show engine just really keeps the show moving, and it really allows for comedians to be funny in all sorts of different ways. So I think it's rad that they're doing it, and I think it's rad that it's on a network. It's like it got actual legitimate network time. So huge props to After Midnight for freshening up the format. I mean, I honestly after 600 episodes, I was like, I don't know what else to do. So and also having been a dad for the last couple of years, I feel like I'm so out of the loop on everything. I'm out of the loop on current social media trends. I've had such a great time being a dad that I just feel like, oh, I think I might be old, So it's great.
All right, let's do one more, Chris.
Okay, so there's this guy in Texas who's facing charges after he allegedly used information overheard during his wife's work calls to make $1.76 million in the stock market.
Oh, is this Paul Pelosi?
No, it's can't confirm it's not.
Oh, he made a lot more than that. Yeah, you're right. That's jump change for Paul.
But yeah, so he took advantage of his remote working conditions and was listening to his wife's phone calls, and so his wife, and he didn't tell his wife. Mm-hmm. And then so when it was all found out, he confesses to his wife. He says he wanted her to make enough money so that she didn't need to continue working all these long hours.
What I read was he didn't want to work the hours. It was about him working less.
Well, according to this report, he said that he didn't want his wife to work the long hours, but his wife was stunned by this, so she goes to her superiors at BP.
Oh, British Petroleum?
Yeah, and she reports her husband. She's immediately fired because of all the trading, and then she later files for divorce.
Wow. There's got to be something else this guy was doing wrong.
Well, he was a moron. He bought it. BP was buying a company. Mm-hmm. He heard about it. He invested in the company. Mm-hmm. The day it was announced they were buying it, he sold. If he had waited probably 3 days and only made $1.3 million, he probably would have been fine.
Yeah, he's into it.
Yeah. Or that's the other thing. He could have been slowly buying shares, probably a 6 to 12 month negotiation. But and I don't know. I know I sound like a master criminal right now.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. But I know the SEC has they look for patterns.
Right.
So if you're a dude who's never bought a stock of that type before, and all of a sudden the day before you're buying and the day of you sell, some people might notice that.
Yeah.
The divorce part seems weird to me. It seems like there were other things going on in this relationship. That's what I'm saying.
She got fired. She lost her career.
Final straw of a long
list of stupid actions.
Yeah, it feels like there was more at play here than the one incident. That's
probably
all.
Highly likely.
That's all I'm saying. Because I don't know. I always feel that way. Maybe I felt that way about Martha Stewart or something. But I don't know a person that if somebody called you and went hey man, you know that stock you have in Mercedes, well, I know that there's going to have a quarterly report that's going to come out, or their electric car's got a bad battery and they're going to catch on fire. I don't know anyone who got that information and go, thanks, and then sell Mercedes stock. It's illegal, but who amongst us would not given the information in advance? By the way, it's what Congress does anyway. We always check about their stock portfolio. Oh, it's a 97% return this year. Absolutely uncanny how they
What are the odds?
What are the odds, right? But something else was going on in this relationship. I don't know. And then also, where he was in the next room listening.
It must be. I don't think people still use landlines. Maybe she was, and he was just heavily breathing on the other in the bedroom.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He told her, though, right? Which means it wasn't a total nefarious plan. He told
He eventually
her.
confessed, yeah.
Well, there's a difference between eventually confessing and telling her.
He reportedly confessed to his wife, telling her he wanted to make enough money. So
Yeah, well, yeah, he told her and then she told the boss.
yeah.
But that's not eventually confess. That's like you got busted. He did it. I mean, he brought it up to her. I don't know. Maybe she should have zipped it. Why did she go in and talk to the boss?
God, I mean, it's a major. I mean, he's going to go to jail for this. Like, it's a major, major crime he committed. If his wife hadn't have done that, first of all,
Could they have gotten away with it? Is my question.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No. And he, like I said, he was a moron. Like, I mean,
Purchased 46,450 shares.
Yeah.
Of whatever the company was.
Yeah.
And
That was later being
had
sold
he
to
ever
BP.
even bought a stock before? Like, that's the kind of thing. Did he open a Schwab account and then make his first stock
He
win?
could have.
I'm sure it sounds like
done
he did,
some
yeah.
business.
I mean,
I
so
think
as-
his
as-
problem was telling the old lady.
So it's called Travel Centers, and as a result of the announcement of the merger, their stock rose 71%.
Okay, he shouldn't have told her. She shouldn't have told PP. That's the way I roll. And if she's going to be in the next room talking real loud, that's on her. She should have gone out in the yard and put a bucket over her head like I do.
Yeah.
When I have sensitive information, I put a bucket on my head and I stand in the yard.
Or you do that in the Ubers as well.
You got to do what Dr. Drew does. I can always tell when his wife's around. The voice changes. It goes down a couple octaves. He starts talking in code. You got to know where the spouse is. Those walls are paper thin. That's on her. Please. All right. So, do we think he's going to go to? Well, now it's a high profile thing.
Yeah,
So
it's a
they
high-profile thing.
they
They gotta
got
do
to
something.
prosecute because the world will demand it.
community.
Let's see. The community. The IRS discussed it with the community, and they're going to have to lock this guy up.
So the guy, he did not deny the allegations. He reportedly agreed to a partial judgment pending the court's approval. If approved, he would need to repay his profits with interest on top of a fine that would be determined by the court.
All right. So no jail time. I don't know. I wonder if she can love again.
That's the big question.
That is always the question. All right, let me give some plugs out. I'm going to be at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club coming up March 7th for 2 shows over there, and then Palm Beach, Florida. And you just go to AdamCarolla.com for all my live dates. Up for Auction is the name of the show, and all 8 episodes can be watched on the CW app, so I recommend that highly. Chris, don't take so long in between breaks here.
Yeah, I'm now like kind of emerging from dadhood, but it is my heart's always at home, so it is sort of hard to go out and like, because it's like, I love being at home, So.
All right, well, you'll get to go home in about 30 seconds. Brian Volk-Weiss, always good to see you again.
Great to see you.
My friend.
Thank you for having us.
And until next time, it's Adam for Chris and Brian and Chris again saying mahalo.